Welcome to Direction Northeast. This program is a presentation of the Communications Department of Northeast State Community College. I'm Kacie Tafer. This special episode of Direction Northeast is about a new approach to a problem that has long since faced higher education. How do you prepare students from differing academic backgrounds to perform the same academic level in college? We'll explore the new Learning Support Program at Northeast State and see how it can help students succeed. We'll start our show following these messages.
Northeast State's a wonderful place to start your career in college, and the campus is beautiful, the teachers are one-on-one.
It was an excellent decision to come to Northeast State. I've learned so much coming here.
I love the school and everyone is friendly here. This has been the best time of my life. I have really enjoyed being here.
I think if it hadn't have been for Northeast, then I wouldn't feel as happy and as driven if I chose another school.
Step by step, Northeast State is here to get you there. Enroll now at northeaststate.edu.
Oh, it's been a huge difference for me. It's been a long time since I've been in school, and I'm not computer savvy, and so it has really helped me in the other classes with just getting used to the computers.
The class is making a difference because I'm getting reacquainted with the algebra again and the tougher stuff like the graphing. I'm horrible at graphing, so the teachers can help me with it, and they're really helpful.
It's videos, so you have to watch a video instead of watching your instructor, and you have to kind of be self-sufficient, really, to pull it off, but I like it better.
A lot of like one-on-one time if you need it. They'll show you exactly what you're doing wrong, how to do it. Even like little phrases or singing or whatever works, they're willing to help you with.
Go for it. It helps. It really does. I mean, it's even if you do know it, it never hurts to have a review on anything that you know.
With the videos, and you do not have the lectures of the teacher in front of you, but the teachers are there to help you. And they do come up to help you with each time that you need it. But it is a very big difference, and it's a lot more help.
Probably the biggest adjustment is all the time and effort you have to put in. Like, you have to make sure that you're doing it at home as well as in class, and you have to set time to make sure you get it all done, stay on track. Definitely don't want to get behind.
Students who are entering college directly from high school or adult learners coming back to the classroom after years away sometimes need help. In the past, courses designed to refresh basic skills were called remedial or developmental courses and were required of many students based on assessment testing. Faculty members understand what many incoming Northeast State students face when enrolling. Approximately 70% of the first-year students need at least one developmental class.
The old method of learning support, developmental ed, took up to 3 semesters or more if the student did not successfully complete. Now the student can complete all reading, math, and English in one semester if they so desire and have the skills and abilities to do so. We've had to change our infrastructure. Students can now register more than just 3 times a year. If they finish a module, say in math, in a month, they can now register for that second module, and previously that was not able to take place. We have tutoring. We have instructors who are in the classroom along with the tutors. We have extra time built in and additional classroom space set aside for support. So much more support mechanism is the major difference. But also the teaching is conducive to learning. Students take responsibility for their learning, and along with the support, they can then become engaged in the actual learning. It's a more engaged method where the student actually interacts with the computer. The computer is the key tool. It's not the driver, but it's the key tool in which the student uses to help get feedback instantly. Before the teacher can grade the paper, the computer has it done. So all of those factors, I believe, have made a difference, the support as well as the computer.
While these courses were needed to provide necessary academic skills depending on the individual student's need, they could delay entry to college credit-producing classes, perhaps delaying graduation. Many times this served to discourage the very students the programs were designed to help.
One of the things that is research shows that all students who have developmental courses, the longer they take to get out of those courses, the higher at risk they are of failing, flunking out of college essentially, or failing their courses.
This is compounded by the fact that many financial aid sources will not pay for high school equivalency courses that the student may need in college. This financial burden for paying for those courses falls to the student. That strain can also serve to demoralize a student and raise the dropout risk.
We, for years, across the state and really across the nation, the pass rates in developmental studies classes had hovered around 50%, which is not good, especially when you compound, when you start 3 courses and 50% and compound as you go up, that comes out to a very small number of people who are getting through.
Full-time as well as adjunct faculty teach learning support courses in addition to traditional college-level courses. The delay in taking credit-producing classes also took a toll on the academic departments in the form of more costs for classrooms and instructors. Additionally, it also slowed graduation rates. Coincidentally, 2 organizations within Tennessee state government were working to lower costs and increase graduation rates. First, the Tennessee state legislature was interested in raising graduation rates among colleges and universities. As part of the Complete College Tennessee Act, efforts were being made to streamline the transfer of course credits between state institutions of higher learning. This would reduce costs to the state when courses were duplicated. Second, the Tennessee Board of Regents, the state governing body for colleges and universities in Tennessee, was searching for ways to reduce the cost to taxpayers.
What they wanted to do was design courses that were more efficient and faster in terms of students getting through them.
Part of the TBR mandate was that students taking developmental courses be able to complete those courses in a timely manner.
One benefit of the Learning Support Project is that the students will now be able to complete their learning support courses, whether it's reading, writing, or mathematics, in a shorter period of time, whereas in the old model, a student may possibly take courses 2 to 3 semesters before entering their college-level coursework. Now what a student can technically do, depending upon their placement, is that they should be able to complete their learning support classes within a semester, maybe 2 semesters, depending upon their work schedule, their life schedules, their home life. Complete the learning support classes, which ultimately that will reduce the amount of time that they will need to complete their associate's degree.
In the fall semester of 2011, Northeast State implemented a new approach to providing incoming freshmen the background they needed to be successful in the college environment. The results of careful planning and teamwork throughout the college, the new program was called Learning Support. Utilizing a mix of guided classroom instructions and individual self-paced learning, the new program gives the student more learning opportunities and personal options about what they need to learn and the pace at which it will be administered.
I think one feature of the redesign project that I like and Academic Affairs likes here at Northeast State is that when a student applies for Northeast State, to attend Northeast State, they are automatically tested dependent upon certain test scores, and based upon the test scores, they are placed in certain learning support courses, whether it's reading, writing, or mathematics. And not only are they placed in a course, they are placed in an area whereby their testing showed some type of remediation needed for that competency, a specific competency. When we register courses, students for these courses, they are in a course, they are in a classroom, there are instructors in the classroom with lab assistants, and these students are able to work on a specific competency that they need to work on based upon their testing and their placement. So unlike 20, 30 years ago where maybe a student was needed some assistance in a specific math course, we are actually targeting specific math competencies.
The 3 traditional areas of developmental learning, math, reading, and writing, remain in place, and each area will be taught in a classroom laboratory where computer technology and personal interaction combine to allow the student to progress at a natural, self-directed pace. The largest need for learning support classes has been and will continue to be math. The mathematics faculty at Northeast State Community College spends months redesigning courses and creating a textbook to improve learning outcomes for students who need to refresh their math skills prior to taking a college-level course. New students who score less than a 19 on math or reading below 18 or below 18 in English on the ACT College Placement Exam are required to either pass a Compass test for the subject-specific area or take a learning support course to prepare them for college-level coursework. A second placement test called My Math Test, administered by Northeast State, identifies specific areas where students need improvement. Once the student's needs are determined by the second placement test, he or she enrolls in the appropriate math learning support courses identified. Traditionally, content was divided into 3 classes: Math 0700, Math 0800, and Math 0850. Based upon assessment, students can be required to complete up to 3 semesters of coursework. Learning support provides a different way of thinking for math. All 5 courses focus on specific math competencies that students need to master in order to enter college-level math courses. The learning support units for math allow students to complete units in a time frame which they determine. The Learning Support Program divides math subjects into 5 one-credit-hour courses, with each course focusing on math topics such as percentages, fractions, algebra, and geometry.
Where we had the 3 3-hour courses, which was a total, if you students started at the lowest level, it was a 3-semester sequence before they could even hope to start college level. The way it is now, it is 5 one-credit-hour courses with an additional course for no credit. And the reason for that is that it's pre-high school level, so we're not allowed to offer it for credit. But there are actually 6 courses, and the students take 3 at a time. So assuming success, they would finish in 2 semesters, but they can go faster. So and we did have a couple of students last semester who did start at the lowest level and finished all of them. We had a large number of students who started a little higher than that lowest level and finished all of the courses. So even though they were enrolled in 3, we had several students finish 4 or even 5 or 6 classes. The shell is to enable the people to be enrolled. It gives in different things at the same time. So the students enroll for a shell, which is 0 credit, and that gives them a time to go to class. It gives them an instructor. It gives them a room number. It says your class is Friday 9 to 12, or your class is Monday, Wednesday, 10:30 to whatever. So the shell is the logistics of the course, but there's no content in there. Of course, that's the name shell. And in that, they sign up for 3 of the 1-credit content courses based on their placement test. So, one person might be taking courses, for simplicity, I'll say 1, 2, and 3. Another one might take 2, 3, and 5. It can be any combination within that shell.
A critical part of the course redesign incorporates My Math Lab, an online support system which accompanies textbooks in mathematics and statistics. Instructors use My Math Lab to review, analyze, and study student strengths and weaknesses by tracking their performances on tests, assignments, and tutorials, while the customizable gradebook helps instructors manage results, calculate grades, and plan learning strategies.
If they want to move faster, they can, or if they need to spend 3 or 4 extra hours to get it, then they can. And the My Lab system has a lot of helps. There's a show me an example like this, there's help me solve this, there's step by step, and then there's also a 24/7 tutorial provided by the My Labs people. In addition to, of course, we have our Learning Center where they can go for extra help. We have an open lab for learning support math where they can get extra help. And then, of course, they're in the classroom. They have the two instructors.
Again, the student can progress through the content areas at a more natural, individualized learning pace, gaining credit for each of the content areas as they are completed and not having to wait to cover material they may already understand. Each course is designed to last 5 weeks during 1 semester. A student's test results are used to determine their enrollment in 1, 2, or all 5 courses. When a student grasps the concepts presented in one of the 5 courses, he or she demonstrates competency on the course tests and then moves on to the next course. The courses are self-paced. Students have a maximum of 5 weeks to complete each course, although they may complete it sooner. The courses are designed to keep students on target week by week.
In order to move forward, you have to have made a certain score on a previous unit. It's set up so that students watch a video, they take notes in the Student Organizer, which is a book that we wrote that we're very, very proud of. A group of faculty, 6 faculty actually, got together and spent a lot of time compiling the Student Organizer, which is, it guides their note-taking. It's guided notes, that's what it is. So as they watch the video, they fill in these pages in the Student Organizer, and that, number 1, assures that they watch the video, and number 2, it organizes notes so that they have a set of good organized notes to refer to that are accurate. So they fill that in, and in order to do the first practice problems, they have to have watched the video and done the notes. And then to do the first homework set, they have to have scored 90% on the practice problems. And it goes on like that, so that they can't progress without having mastered the previous topic.
Instructors use MyMathLab to help monitor students' performance. MyMathLab also provides 24/7 technical support and tutorial services for students struggling with certain concepts.
I've just over the past couple of weeks been gathering and trying to analyze data, and I've been very, very encouraged with the data, especially in the higher level courses. The lower, when I say the lower level, what used to be our 0700 course, which is our basic math course. It covers whole numbers, decimals, fractions, percents. What we saw was about a 10% increase at that level in the students who passed the course. And that's pretty encouraging. But then when I looked at the other courses, we were actually having up around an 80% pass rate in each course, where before, as I said, we were between 50 and 60. So we were very, very happy to see that data. Now you think about it, it makes sense that instead of taking an entire semester course, you're taking a 5-week course, that people would be more successful. But you know, that was part of the purpose of the program. If they can master that one competency, then let them be done with that and move on. And so it's accomplishing, I think, what we set out to accomplish.
Learning support also extends to other essential skills beyond math. Support programs in writing help students prepare for college-level composition work. The new English 0870 Basic and Developmental Writing class began last fall, replacing 2 developmental writing courses previously required of students. It is condensed in content, but expanded in writing mechanics. Learning support uses computer-based instructions to teach the mechanics of writing, such as grammar and punctuation.
With the new 0870, they take a 5-hour course that in the past would have been 2 separate courses. And therefore, the student who successfully exits English 0870 will be able to move on in a semester. So in the fall, let us say in the previous system, they would have taken English 0700. Then in the spring, they would have taken 0800. And then in the fall of the next year, they would have taken their first collegiate level course. So what we're doing is speeding them along by a whole semester. So if we get a hold of them in fall, 0870, and they pass that course, then they're in collegiate level. Now, one of the things we're trying to make sure is that we're not lowering our standards by doing this. In fact, we're using the very same exit exam that we used in the past. And of course, by the next fall, we're going to have some comparative data about how students have been doing.
Students were previously required to pass 2 writing courses in consecutive semesters. The new 5-credit-hour learning support course, Design, allows students to test out of the course into a college-level composition class before the end of the semester to accelerate their progress into college-level work.
What we did when we redesigned 0870 was that we have 2 components, and we believe in going. Well, let me explain the 2 components. One, the first component will be a traditional, it's a 5-hour course. 3 hours will be directed by a teacher. So they have a teacher in the classroom directing them. The other 2 hours will be based on doing the more, exercises that don't need a teacher, such as punctuation and so on, using a program called My Writing Lab Plus. And My Writing Lab Plus is designed to make you efficient in punctuation, grammar, and so on. However, the state judges the final product in terms of a written collegiate level essay, not little modules like you'd see in math or reading, okay? You have to complete an essay, and all research shows that just doing separate exercises in grammar and so on doesn't make you be able to write a complete essay. So what we're doing is going for the best of both worlds. We're teaching people the grammar, the mechanics, the punctuation, and so on, but we're also constantly having a teacher there who works with them on the process of writing.
The third part of learning support is designed to bring reading skills up to a collegiate level. In college work, reading skill is a basic requirement. Here, Northeast State was a leader in developing a quality program.
We really did away from the 3 lecture hours for the reading in the traditional way. Instead, as I mentioned earlier, we use technology to individualize student learning, to assess their capability and then do it accordingly. So what we do is that students still come to a group meeting for reading 1 time a week. The rest of the week, they spend their time in the reading center doing hands-on, completing their individualized study plan, working on the modules, and as soon as they finish what they're required to do, they can early exit the course.
Dr. Wong's division piloted one of the state's first 3 programs, Redesigned for Reading, in 2008. The redesign's first goal sought to improve the success and retention rate of students who required learning support courses. The second goal was creating cost efficiency by reducing the number of courses the institution taught and the overall number of courses students had to take.
We use public money or taxpayer money to support high schools. So we already paid once when they're in high school. When they come to college, we have to, so to speak, the old way to say remediate or prepare them for college level classes for success. So we spend another round of money to support those kind of classes. Thirdly, when students fail or repeat, once again, we're putting more money in the program. So it makes sense that we redesign so that our student success rate is improved. At the same time, hopefully we'll save some money, if more pass it, but long run, we do save money because more students get through it more quickly. And then, of course, hopefully more students will go through college successfully and get a degree. So all these factors, it's a win-win situation for anybody.
Once implemented, the pilot program improved reading comprehension for students. The division's reading faculty continues to monitor the program's success rate and the challenges faced by so many students entering college.
I've seen some students just do remarkably well. I've seen students come into this program and they struggled at first, but then I look at them near the end and they get fired up. And then I had a student, I think the other day, came in and just happened to be passing my office, and I spoke to him, and he was telling me how much that course had helped him in the history class that he was taking, because he can read so much faster and so much better. We still have people who are struggling when they come out of high school, and that's after preschool, kindergarten, high school. They still are having problems with the basic skills. And it's going to be, I look for learning support to continue for a long, long time because of that. Because if we don't, we're letting down a large portion of our populace who really can't do it yet.
Now we introduce, with the individualized program, we introduce the modules, and we go over the objectives and the model and the overview of each module. But then the student works individually on the practices and the tests and their reading notebook, and we are just there as an overseer to guide them. So it's more adjusting to an individualized format as opposed to a teacher over the classroom situation. I think it's absolutely necessary, especially to in the area of reading. Students have to be able to read for information. Once they understand how each component of the reading program fits together, once they understand main idea and how main idea is an extension of topic, and then how the supporting details are there to make up and support that main idea. And then once they see the the patterns of organization. And once they can understand purpose and tone and are able to make inferences and are able to critically think through the reading process, then they can read for information. And after all, that's what's necessary when taking their core classes. They have to be able to read for information.
With the Learning Support Program in place, experienced instructors brought the program to life. They were the part of the program that interfaced computer-based instruction with the individual needs of the students.
I try on a daily basis to go around and monitor student progress, and if someone is struggling or seems to be stuck on an assignment, I'll sit down with them one-on-one and try to help them through it. Also, it gives me an opportunity to remind them of resources we have on campus, tutoring services, the Learning Center, etc. The two big parameters that the state has set is that it has to save the student time and save the student money. In the past, students testing into the lowest level classes would have to take 3 semesters of classes. Now, with a new design, those testing into the lowest level can actually complete all of their learning support in 2 semesters instead of 3.
The students will enjoy being able to progress faster, and I know they want to graduate as soon as they can so they can get into their careers economically. It would help them. We do have several that really keep on taking practice problems, homework problems until they get that 100. They won't settle for anything less than 100.
Math, reading, and writing provide not only fundamental skills, but the methods of higher learning and critical thinking that help students as their college classes get more rigorous. The course redesign saves money for both the institution and students. The students can take more courses applying to his or her major and far fewer learning support classes. The redesign also reduces the student's financial burden of paying for those courses. The courses also allow the academic divisions to allocate their resources of faculty and teaching space with more efficiency. The new design places a greater emphasis on the student's success while not spreading faculty members too thin with multiple classes and coverage issues. We'll be back in a moment to wrap up this Direction Northeast. Business, medical, and financial institutions must have confidence in the data that they use. Information assurance is the strategic use of technology and software to protect data from internal and external threats. Northeast State offers an associate's degree program designed to fill the demand for information assurance professionals. The Information Assurance program offers hands-on personal instruction. Northeast State Community College is an accredited institution offering financial aid and job placement. Northeast State, we're here to get you there. The Learning Support Program at Northeast State serves as a statewide model in preparing incoming students for the collegiate classroom in a timely, efficient manner. While a lot of planning and effort went into developing this program, its benefits to students is worthwhile. That concludes our program for today. We have examined the new Learning Support Program at Northeast State. Community is very important to the students at Northeast State Community College, and this program takes a look at a few of the subjects they find important. Until we meet next time, on behalf of these students and staff and faculty at Northeast State Community College, I'm Kacie Tafer, and this is Direction Northeast.